arithmetic. Explain decimal expansions. Prove irrational numbers. State laws of logarithms. We learned from previous classes that natural numbers are the set of numbers which start from 1. They are denoted by n. Example: n is equal to 1, 2, 3, so on. Whole numbers are the set of numbers that include 0 along with the natural numbers. They are denoted by W. Example: 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. An integer is a whole number that can be positive or negative or 0, but it should not be a fractional number. It is denoted by letter Z. For example, Z is equal to -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Now, let us recall about rational and irrational numbers. Rational numbers are the numbers that can be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equal to 0. They are denoted by Q. Always, rational numbers are expressed by using terminating decimals or non-terminating repeating decimals. Examples of rational numbers are as shown on the screen. Finally, we conclude that rational numbers contain the set of natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. We also have irrational numbers which cannot be expressed in the form of P by Q, where P, Q are integers and Q not equal to 0. Some of these numbers are √2, √3, and mathematical quantities like pi. When these are written as decimals, they are non-terminating and non-recurring. You know that rational numbers contain the set of natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers. But do you know that rational numbers are contained in some other set of numbers? Let us learn about various properties of rational and irrational numbers in details, and also about logarithms. It states that if any positive integer x is divided by another positive integer y, then it gives remainder z which is smaller than y. Let us do an example. Suppose if x is equal to 22, y is equal to 5, then the remainder z equal to 2, which is smaller than y. The result obtained by division process is quite easy to understand, but it has got many applications relating to divisibility properties of integers. Let us learn few of them which are mainly used to calculate HCF of two positive integers. A. 28. B. 17, 5. Consider a bit that is 20 and 8. Here A is equal to 20, B is equal to 8. Thus, by applying the Euclid's division lemma EDL to the above numbers, we obtain as follows. Here we know that A is equal to BQ plus R. So when 20 is divided by 8, we obtain quotient Q as 2 and remainder R is equal to 4. Substituting the obtained values of Q and R in the above expression, we obtain both LHS and RHS equal. Similarly, let's consider second set of numbers 17 and 5. Here, A is equal to 17, B is equal to 5. Thus, by applying the Euclid's division lemma EDL to the above numbers, we obtain as follows. Here we know that A is equal to BQ plus R. So when 17 is divided by 5, we update quotient Q as 3 and remainder R is equal to 2. Substituting the obtained values of Q and R in the above expression, we obtain both LHS and RHS equal.
Natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers and irrational numbers and real numbers. These all are called number systems. So other than these number systems, we have different types of numbers. So there are even numbers, odd numbers, prime numbers and composite numbers. So what is the meaning of even numbers? The numbers which are exactly divisible by 2 are called even numbers. So what is the meaning of exactly divisible? That means if you divide a number with 2, if you get remainder 0, then it is called exactly divisible without putting the decimal point. That is called exactly divisible. So the numbers, otherwise you can say other numbers which are ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 are called even numbers. So next one, coming to the odd numbers, the numbers which are not exactly divisible by 2. Otherwise if you divide with 2, if you remainder it will become 1, then that type of numbers are called odd numbers. That means the numbers which are not exactly divisible by 2 are called odd numbers. Otherwise, how to identify the odd numbers? The last numbers are ends with 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So this is very easy to identify what are the even numbers and what are the odd numbers, irrespective of its definition. So coming to the prime numbers. So prime numbers, based on the number of factors, based on the number of the factors, the numbers again divided into 2 times. They are prime numbers and composite numbers. So what is the meaning of a factor? Factor means if a number divides another number exactly, then it is called the factor. So for example, 2 divides 8 exactly divisible, so 2 is called factor. And 4 divides 8 2 times, then 4 is called the factor. Even in factors concept, the one point is very important. 1 and that number itself is a factor of every number. So 1 is a factor of the number 8 and 8 also factors. So these all are called factors of the particular number. So based on the number of the factors, again numbers classified into 2 types. They are the prime numbers and composite numbers. The prime numbers, numbers having only 2 factors, 1 and itself are called prime numbers. A number having only 2 factors, 1 and itself are called prime numbers. So for example, the examples of the prime numbers I am writing here. So the word prime is very important. In India, we know the importance of the Prime Minister. He is the supreme of the country to make any decision. Similarly, we are using a word prime for the numbers, prime numbers. These prime numbers we have that much importance like our Prime Minister. So prime numbers are very important for so many calculations. So learn perfectly. So first prime number is 2. Next is 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 27, no, not 27, 29, 31, 37, and so on. We have so many numbers. So these all are the numbers are called prime numbers. If you observe 2 having only 2 factors, 1 and 2 only. So 3 only 2 factors, 1 and 3 only. So these all numbers having only 1 factor. So 2 factors, only 1 and itself. So these are called the prime numbers. So other than prime numbers, what are the numbers? They are the composite numbers. Otherwise, we have specific definition for the composite number also. The definition of composite numbers, the numbers having 3 or more factors. 3 or more factors are called composite numbers. So the examples of the composite number, the least composite number is 4. The composite number starts from 4. Next one, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15 and so on. If you observe 4 having how many factors? 1 4s are 4. 1 is a factor, 2 is a factor, 4 is a factor, 3 factors. 6 how many factors? 1 is a factor, 2 is a factor, 3 is a factor, 6 also factor, 4 factors. 8 1, 2, 4, 8, 4 factors. So these are all the numbers having 3 or more factors. They are called composite numbers. But 1 neither prime nor composite. Neither prime nor composite. This point is very important. So the smallest prime number is 2. The smallest composite number is 4 only. So we have infinite prime numbers and infinite composite numbers. And 2 also have one importance. Only 2 is only even number in the prime numbers. Among the prime numbers, only 2 is the even number. If you search no other number, we have even number in the prime numbers other than 2. So, but in composite numbers, so many even numbers are there, so many odd numbers are there, so we no need to worry about it. But the least composite number is 4, and the least even composite number is 4, and the least odd composite number is 9. So, these are the different types of prime numbers and composite numbers. Next, coming to the important definition, the co-primes or relatively primes. This definition is very important for our further proofs of the some theorems. So co-primes are relatively primes. So first of all, before going to the definition, I will explain what are the co-primes or relatively primes. So co-primes or relative primes are a pair of numbers. Pair of numbers means two numbers together. So it should satisfy one condition. That means if the two numbers are having no common factor other than 1. No common factor. Factors are different, common factors are different. So the two type of numbers. So for example, if I take 5 and 6, we have only 1 is a common factor. We have no other factor as a common. So I will write the definition. So concentrate. A pair of numbers having no common factor other than 1 are called co-primes. Example: 10 and 11, 5 and 27, 3 and 13. Next one more thing, 15 and 16. So this pair of numbers, it may actually, if you observe here, we are taking composite numbers. Then in the definition we are using the word primes, but in examples we are taking composite numbers and prime numbers, composite numbers together and prime numbers together, and one composite, one prime. So the numbers may be any numbers, all natural numbers, a pair of natural numbers having no common factor other than 1 are called co-primes. And we have one more definition, HCF is 1. The HCF of any two numbers is equal to 1, then the two numbers are called co-primes or relatively primes. So this definition is very important. These are the examples of the co-primes or relatively primes. The next topic, Euclid division lemma. So Euclid, you know very well, Euclid is the name of the scientist. Division means we know the division process. And the lemma, the meaning of lemma means it is an intermediate theorem. Intermediate theorem in the sense is a small theorem to prove some other theorems. They are called the lemma. So now the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So what is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic? Already we have discussed in the previous classes. But actually the name fundamental theorem of arithmetic is new to us, but the concept is old only. That means what is it? Once you look at the definition, every composite number can be expressed as a product of primes and factorization is unique apart from order in which prime factors occur. So the meaning of this, every composite number we can draw into product of its prime numbers. So this is already discussed from 8th class onwards, and 7th class also we have done prime factorizations. In the prime factorizations we discussed that every composite number we can write the product of the prime numbers. The factorization means writing the product of its factors is called the factorization. Prime factorization means writing the number, the product of the prime numbers is called the prime factorization. Okay, what is the fundamental theorem about every composite number you can write the product of its prime numbers? Simple. See, 4. Say for example, what is the first composite number? 4 equal to 2 into 2. So next 6 is equal to 2 into 3. This 8 equal to, we can write as 2 into 2. Only the product of the prime numbers we have to write. Next one, 10 is equal to 2 into 5. So 12 equal to 2 into 3. Next one, 14 is equal to 2 into 7. Simple. Every composite number can be expressed as a product of the primes. These all are product of the primes. And factorization is unique. Unique means what? There is actually the no two numbers are having the same type of prime factorization. If you observe 4 is 2 into 2, and if you observe any other number doesn't have 2 into 2 as a prime factorization. Only 4 having 2 into 2. So that is unique. That means the prime factorization of every composite number is different from one number to the other number. No two numbers are having the same prime factorization. So that is called and factorization is unique. Unique means different factorizations for the different composite numbers. That is the meaning of unique. Apart from order in which prime factors are occur. Order, actually say for example I'm taking 12. 12 we are writing 2 into 3. You can change the order also, not a problem. So 12 you can write 3 into 2 into 2. Otherwise 12 you can write 2 into 3 into 2. Whatever the order it may be, the prime factorization is every composite number you can write the prime factorization. So, and factorization is unique, that means different factorization for the different numbers apart from order in which prime factors occur. Whatever the order you can write, not a problem. Why? Because in the product of the numbers, the order is nothing important. So, there is nothing but fundamental theorem of arithmetic is nothing but prime factorization. The other name of the prime factorization is nothing but fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So, these are the examples for the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So express 2310 product of its prime factors. This prime factorization we are learning from 6th class onwards, and we discussed what are divisibility rules. The divisibility rules are useful for us to decide which number is divisible by that number. So the divisible rules and only prime numbers only have to apply. So for doing the solution, first of all given number is 2, 3, 1, 0. So prime factorization you have to do. Prime factorization means you have to use this method 2, 3, 1, 0, and you have to divide only with the numbers, prime numbers 2 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 11 or 13 or 17, 19, 20. So only these numbers you have to use the device. So first understand, actually this is the even number, so even number divisible by the 2. It is easy to decide the 2 divisible rule, and number ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. It is divisible to 1, 2 are 2. In 3, 1, 2 are 2. 1 carry out 11, 5, 2 are 10. Again 1 carry out 5, 2 are 10. So next, after this, it is not even number, 2 not divisible. So for example, try for the 3 divisible rule, 5 plus 5, 10, 10 plus 1, 11, 12. Yes, the sum of the digits is divisible by the 3. Then this number is divisible by 3. So 3, in 11, 3 3s are 9. And 9, 2 left over, 25. 25, 8 3s are 24. There is a 24, 1 left over, 15. 5 3s are 15. Again, last number 5 divisible, right? It is not even number, 2 not divisible. 3 plus 11 plus 5 16 not divisible by 3, so it is divisible by 5. So 7 5s are 35, again 7 5s are 35. If you observe, it is divisible by the 7. 7 11s are, and like 11 1s are. So therefore product of its prime factors, therefore we have to write product of its prime factors in the sense 2 3 1 0 equal to 2 into 3 into 5 into 7 into 11. This is the way you have to do the prime factors. From 6th class onwards we are learning this prime factorization. You know very well. So this is the way you have to do the prime factorization. (72) and 108. So LCM and HCF by prime factorization. For this question, first you have to do the prime factorization. 72 divisible 2. 3 2s are 6. 6 to the 12. Again 2. 18 times 2. 9 times 3. 3 times. So 72 we can write as 2 cube into 3 square. So next 108. 108 to 2 is 54. 2 divisible 27. 3 divisible 9 times. 3 divisible 3 times. So you can write as 108 is equal to 2 into 2. You can write 2 square into 3 into 3 into 3. You can write 3 cube. 3 cube. So first I will explain how to find out the HCF. In HCF, you have to take the common factors, and HCF, H means the highest, its opposite is lowest. So you have to take the lowest powers of the common factors you have to take. Common factors means 2 cube and 2 square. 2 is a common factor for the two numbers, and its lowest power. For highest common factor you have to take the lowest power, opposite. For highest you have to take the lowest. So 2 cube and 2 square you have to take 2 square into 3 square and 3 cube. So this is a common, but lowest factors you have to take. So 3 square you have to take. So only common factors you have to take. If there are no common factors, you no need to take. Sometimes if the two numbers are having no common factors, then HCF is 1 only. That is important point. So 2 square is 4 into 3 square is 9 is equal to 36. Coming to the LCM. LCM is opposite. LCM is least common. Least opposite highest you have to take. So first of all you have to take the 2 cube and 2 square. So highest, what is highest? 2 cube. So 2 cube you have to take. Next one 3 square and 3 cube. The highest is 3 cube. So you have to consider 3 cube. 2 cube value is 8 into 3 cube value 27. Multiply 27 into 8. 8 7 is 56. 8 is 16 plus 5 21. So 216. Okay. Here the two numbers are common. So if the numbers are not common, what we have to do? I will explain with one example. First, see here. Rules I wanted to explain to you related to the LCM and HCF form. So first of all, some points. So for example, prime. I'm taking direct prime factorization. Prime factorization of a number 2 square into 3 cube into 5 to the power of 4 into 7 to the power of 6 is one number prime factorization. Next one 2 power 5 into 3 into 5 cube into 11 power 2 into 13 square. So how to find out LCM and HCF of this shape of number? Sometimes they will give the prime factorization directly. Otherwise, some numbers they will do. You know how to do the prime factorization. After converting the prime factorization, how to do the LCM and HCF? Why? Because in this example, we have some common factors and non-common factors also we have. So how to do this type of numbers? Simple. So first of all, HCF already explained. Common factors only you have to consider. So 2 and 2 you can consider, 3 common, you can consider 5 common, you can consider 7 is not common, you should not consider, 11 is not common, and 13 is not common. You don't need to consider for the calculating HCF. Okay, see, already we discussed in the common factors, so highest to opposite is least powers you have to take. So 2 square and 2 power 5, what you have to take? 2 square you have to take. Into 3 cube and 3, nothing is there in the sense, power 1 is there. So least power, what is least power? 3 power 1. So 3 power 1 you have to take. Into 5 power 4, 5 cube. What is the least power? 5 cube. So you have to consider 5 cube. And 7 is not common, 11 is not common, 13 is not. If there is no common factors, you no need to consider for the computing HCF. So now you can multiply. 2 square is 4 into 3 into 5 cube is 125. 4 is 12 into 125. So you can multiply 125 into 12. So 5 is 10, 2 is 4 plus 5, 2 is 2 is 2. 1 5 is 5, 1 2 is 2, 1 1 is 1. 0, 10, 5. So 1, 5, 0, 0. This is the HCF. For the same question, I will explain LCM. So LCM first common factors you have to consider. In the common factors, highest power you have to take. So 2 power 5, 3 cube and 3 power 1 highest power 3 cube into 5 power 4 into 5 cube 5 to the power of 4 is common factors completed. Next, what we have to do for non-common factors, you have to write as it is. So 7 power 6 you have to write, 11 square you have to write, and 13 square you have to write. So if the numbers are very big numbers, you don't need to multiply. You can leave like this, also not a problem. Here the calculation is simple, so I multiplied. Here you don't need to multiply, nothing will happen. So here the concept is HCF we have to take only common factors, least power you have to take. LCM first for common factors highest power you have to take, for non-common factors as it is you have to take. That is the important point. So this is one example. So we have some easy methods to calculate LCM and HCF. So you don't need to do each and every time calculation. Some points we have to discuss. So for example, I am taking two numbers, 50, 100. The smaller number is the factor of the bigger number. Then here HCF equal to the smaller number and LCM equal to the bigger number. This is condition number 1. If you do prime factorization also, you will get like that only. For HCF and LCM, some points we have. If one number is the factor of the other number, the smaller number is the HCF and the larger number is the LCM. So no need to calculate all this, directly you can say. So second condition. So 23 and 19. These two numbers are having co-primes. There are no common factors or prime numbers. So then what are the common factors? No common factors here. So in this condition, if the two numbers are having no common factors, that means the two numbers are co-primes and HCF is 1. And LCM product of numbers. Product of numbers. So 23 into 19 you have to consider. 23, 9 3s are 27, 9 2s are 18 plus 2 20, 1 3s are 3, 1 2s are 2, 7, 3, 4, 37. Okay. Now the third condition. We have some common factors, but exactly small number is not the factor of the bigger number, but we have some common factors. At that time, what we have to do? So, for example, 25 and 10. So, 10 is not the exact factor of 25, and we have some common factors. At that time, we have to do the HCF prime factorization. 10 equal to, we have to do the 2 into 5 and 25 equal to 5 square. HCF you know very well. This process already explained how to do prime factorization. That process you have to apply. So common factor is only 5 and least power 5 power 1. So HCF is 5 and LCM highest power 5, common factor is highest power 5 square and non-common 2. So 5 square 25 into 2 you will get to 50. So these are the different three conditions. Only these three conditions only you will get. One number is the factor of other number. Otherwise, one number, there are no common factors for any two numbers or three numbers. And here we have some common factors, but if a small number is not the factor of the bigger number, at that time you have to use the appropriate method. So this is the important point. So next we have a relationship between LCM and HCF with the two numbers. Relationship between LCM and HCF. So we have a relationship with LCM and HCF. The relationship is LCM into HCF equal to product of two numbers. LCM into HCF equal to product of two numbers. This is only true for the two numbers only, not for the three numbers. So for example, I am writing a question. If LCM of 20 and 100 is 100, find HCF. Okay. So first of all, given numbers, otherwise you can write a given numbers A into B, not a problem. So here A equal to 20 given, B equal to 100 given, LCM also given, which is 100, and we have to find out the HCF. We have a formula LCM into HCF equal to A into B. LCM is 100. We don't know HCF. A value 20 and this is 100. So HCF equal to 20 into 100 by 100 gets cancelled. HCF equal to 20. This is the way. Sometimes there will be LCM and HCF and they will ask, there will be one number and they will ask one more number. Sometimes product of the numbers they will give directly, and one LCM or HCF they will give, and they will ask the next one. If they give LCM, you have to find out HCF. If you know the HCF, you have to find out the LCM. This is the relationship between LCM and HCF. So product of two numbers equal to LCM and HCF. This is the question. Check whether 6 power n can end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. So one important point: if any number ends with 0, so for example, I am taking 20, 30, 50 and 70. These are the numbers ends with 0. So the prime fraction, observe the prime fraction of these numbers. So 2 into 5. 2 into 3 into 5 is the prime fraction of this. And 50. 2 into 5 into 5. And 70 prime fraction was into 2, 35, 5, 7. So 2 into 5 into 7. These are the numbers ends with 0. If you observe, in each and every prime factorization, we are having 2 and 5. Isn't it? Every prime factorization numbers which are ends with 0 having two factors, that is 2 and 5 are the factors. If the 2 and 5 are the factors, then only it is. Some other numbers will take, the numbers which are not ends with 0 numbers prime factorization if you observe. So for example 6, 15, 18, some numbers 25. So see here, and some 8. So 2 into 3, 3 into 5, 2 into 3 into 3, 5 into 5, 2 into 2 into 2. So you see 6 equal to, if you observe the prime factorization of this, here we have 2 but we don't have 5. Here we have 5. Here we have 2 but we don't have 5. It never ends with 0. Here factor 5 but there is no factor 2. So 15 also is not ending with 0. And here we have 2 as a factor but 5 is not the factor. It is not ending with the 0. And here 5 is the factor, 2 is not the factor. It is not ending with the 0. And this 2 is the factor but 5 is not the factor, then it is not ending with the 0. So what is the conclusion of the story? So if any number, if any number which are ends with 0, its prime factorization 2 and 5 should be the factors of the number, then only that number ends with 0. Otherwise the numbers never ends with 0. So how to check for this question answer? So I will explain detailed step by step procedure. First of all, prime factorization of the 6 you have to do. So prime factorization of the 6 power n is equal to 2 into 3 whole to the power of n. Here 2 is a factor but 5 is not factor. 5 is not factor of 6 power n. So it never ends with 0. It never ends with 0. And this is the way how to do the solve the question. Dear students, here this is a question. Check whether 6 power n can end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. And this is the way you have to write the step by step procedure. Everything is important. Already explained the concept of this, how to do all those things, and see the step by step process. So the first step, if any natural number ends with the digit 0, it should be divisible by 10, or in other words, it will also be divisible by 2 and 5, as 10 equal to 2 into 5. Already we discussed this point. And the prime factorization of 6 power n equal to 2 into 3 whole to the power of n. So it can be observed that 5 is not in the prime factorization of 6 power n. Hence, for any value of n, 6 power n will not be divisible by 5. Therefore, 6 power n cannot end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. So this is the way, this is the step by step procedure you have to write. So you have to maintain all those things. So this is the question. Explain why 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 and 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 5 are composite numbers. Already we discussed what is the definition of composite numbers. Numbers are having more than two factors are called composite numbers. Every number having 1 and itself are the factors. If you are able to say other number other than 1 and itself, if one number is the factor of that number, then you can say that is a composite number. So coming to this question, already the prime standard form given. So first, if you observe this, 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 divided by the two parts. This is one part and this is one part. Two terms involved. In the two terms, before plus first term 13 is common and second term also 13 is there. So take 13 common. So if we take 13 common, 13 into 7 into 11 plus 1. So 13 into 7 into 11, 77 plus 1. So 13 into 78. So for the given number, 13 is factor, 78 is factor, and the number itself is factor, 1 is factor. So it is a composite number. So similarly, coming to the next question, 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 5. So here also, before plus, so here 5 is there and here 5 is there. They will go like this only. You don't need to worry if there is no common number, what we have to do. It is not a composite number. That is important. And here they will give before plus and after plus one number. They will give definitely common. So you have to consider that number and you have to take common that number. So that here take 5 as common. So 7 into 6 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 1 and 5 into 2, 3 are 6, 6 4 are 24, 24 into 7, 6 are 42. So 8 to 4, 16, 4 is 8 plus 1, 9, 8, 1, 0, 0, 8. So 5 and 1, 0, 0, 8 are the factors of the given number, so it is a composite number, and I will explain step by step procedure. So that's good. So composite number question, coming to here, already we discussed the composite number definition. If a number having more than two factors, one and itself are the factors of the number. So here explain, this is the question, explain why 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13 and 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 5 are composite numbers. So answer, first of all, numbers are of two types, prime and composite. Prime numbers can be divided by 1 and only itself, whereas composite numbers have factors other than 1 and itself. This definition you have to write. This is under presentation. Next one, it can be observed that 7 into 11 into 13 plus 13, and here we are taking common 13, already we discussed on the board. 13 if you take common 7 into 11 plus 1, and 13 into 7, 11s are 77 plus 1, 13 into 78. So again he further 78 prime factorized, 13 into 13 into 6. So the given expression has 6 and 13 as its factors, therefore it is a composite number. And coming to the second question, 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 plus 5 took common, and if you do calculation 1008 plus 1 1009, so 100 cannot be factorized further actually. Therefore the given expression has 5 and 1009 as its factors, hence it is a composite number. So this is the way you have to write the step by step procedure. This is the presentation. You have to write in examination like this, and these steps are very important, and you have to learn presentation skills. So this is an important thing. So let x equal to p by q be a rational number. So it is a one rational number, whatever the rational number you can take, such that the prime factorization of q, that is denominator, is of the form 2 power n into 5 power m and 2 powers into power 5 powers, where n, m are non-negative integers. Non-negative integers in the sense of whole numbers, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, it may be anything. Then x has a decimal exponential which is terminates. Then this number, if you do division, it will terminate. Actually, rational numbers are divided into two types: terminating, non-terminating, and recurring. Terminating in the sense if you do division, you have to get the remainder exactly 0 without putting the decimal point. So non-terminating in the sense you never get the remainder 0, and the values are repeating, the same numbers are repeating, that is progress. But without doing the division also, we can say whether it is the terminating or non-terminating or repeating. How? By using the prime factorization of the denominator. So for example, I am taking one question. 75 by 100, this is one number. So first what I have to observe, we no need to do division. So for example, 75 prime factor denominator, 100 do prime factorization. So 100 prime factorization, 10 square you can write, that is 2 into 5 whole square, 2 square into 5 square. Yes, it is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power m. So you can write it is terminate 7.5 if you do division. So 0.75 you will get. 0.75 is the terminating decimal point. Okay. So for example, 5 by 4 is there. 5 by 4. What is the denominator? 4 equal to 2 square. But here there is no 5 power into 1. That means 2 square. 2 square into 2 square into 5 power 0. So then it is also terminates. Otherwise, if you do division 4, 5, 1 4s are 4, 1.10, 2 4s are 8, 2 all to 0.5 4s. So you can write it as 5 4s are 20. So you are getting the remainder 0. So 1.25. So terminate in the sense you have to get the remainder 0. You can keep the point also. Okay, not a problem. So non-terminating in the sense you never get 0. Okay, keep on repeating numbers. So the denominator. Otherwise, one more example. So 76 by 25 is there, say for example. So 25 prime factorization, 5 square. So you check it is a terminating. How I can say? So 25 if I divide with the 76. So 3 25 is 75. 1 key point 10 is not visible. 1 more 0 0. 4 25 is 100. Yes, so this is 3.04. That means simple thing. With the power, the denominators prime factorization is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power n. Then it is the then it is called it terminates. So same definition. Be a rational number such that the prime factorization q is not of the form. Is not in the form of. Is not in form of 2 power n 5 power n, where n x is a non-terminates. X is non-terminating decimal. X is non-terminating decimal. Only the denominators prime factors is not in the form of 0. Let x equal to p by q be a rational number such that the prime factorization of q is not in the form of 2 power n and 5 power n, where n comma m are non-negative integers, then x is non-terminating decimal. So for example, so 20 by 7 is there, otherwise you can write 14, not a problem. So prime factorization, 14 prime factorization 2 into 7, so 20 by 2 into 7, so it is non-terminating. If you have doubt, you can do division. So 14, 20, 1 14s are 14, 10 minus 4 is 6, so 0.60. How many 14s are 60? 4 14s are 56. 10 minus 6 is 4. Again 40. 2 14s are 28. 10 minus 8 is 2. And 3 minus 2 1. 120. 120. See, you will not get remainder 0. It keep on going. Okay. So this is the two important theorems, and you have to check the. We have some questions without doing actual division. Whether we have to check whether the given rational numbers are terminating or non-terminating. How to check? This is the we have to. You no need to do division, but for your verification purpose, I am explaining. We have some questions without doing actual division. Check whether the given rational numbers are terminating or non-terminating. So that type of questions we are going to discuss. So this is a question. Write the following rational numbers in their decimal form and also state which are terminating and non-terminating repeating decimal. So first of all, I am taking first question. So first question, 16 by 125. So prime factorization of the denominator is 16. 5 into 5 into 5. So 16 by 5 cube. Therefore, denominator is in the form of 2 power n into 5 power n, then it is terminating. Then it is terminating decimal. So for each and everything we have to do and we have to write the statement. But the remaining questions I am not writing, but I am saying the explanation. See, 25 by 32. So 25 by 32, the denominator I think 2 power 5. Yes, it is a form of 2 power n into 5 power, it is terminating. It is terminating. So coming to the third question, 100 by 81. So 100 by 81 is nothing but 3 power 4. So 3 power 4, the denominator not in the form of 2 power n into 5 power n. So it is non-terminating and repeating decimal. It is non-terminating and simple, very simple. Denominator is prime factorization, you have to do. And observe, it is a form of 2 power n into 5 power n. Pure 2 powers or pure 5 powers or combination of 2 power and 5 powers. You should not have any other factor in the factorization. So write the decimal form of the following rational numbers without actual division. So without doing division, you have to convert into the decimal form. 35 by 50, 21 by 25, and some by 8. So we know for some questions, without doing the actual division also we can convert into the decimal form. So how it is? So see, look at the book. Solve. First question. 35 by 50. So this is 5 into 7 prime factorization, and this is 2 into 5 into 5. So 5 and 5 gets cancelled. So we can write 7 by 2 into 5, 10, 0.7. That's it. Here we didn't do any division. So coming to the second question, 21 by 25. So 21 by 25 is 5 square. Actually, you have to convert into the 10 square. If it is a 5 square, you have to convert it to the 10 square. Then you will convert it. So what is missing to convert it to the 10 square? Here is missing 2 square. So multiply 2 square both numerator and denominator. 21 into 4 by 5 into 2 whole square. 4 ones are 4. 4 is 84 by 10 square. That is 84 by 100. You can write as 0.84. Are you able to understand what I am doing? Here one more time. 5 square, 2 square is missing. If 5 square and 2 square, then it will become 10 square, it will become 100, and easily you will convert into the decimal form. So now third one, 7 by 8. So prime factor is the denominator 2 cube. So if this 2 cube, if you multiply with 5 cube, it will become 10 cube. So multiply with 5 cube, both numerator and denominator you have to multiply. 7 into 5 cube, 125 by 2 into 5 whole cube. So first 125 into 7 multiply. 7 5 is 25. 7 is 14 plus 2. 16. 7 is 7 8. So 865 by 10 cube is nothing but 865 by 1000. 1000 you can write 0.865. So this is the way you have to, without doing division, you can convert it to the decimal form. So this is the small concepts, but very important for the 1 mark, 2 marks questions and bits also. So have a look.